Or she loud enough. Okay, John Martin Green,
Yes,
you present?
I am.
Chris Berry,
Here.
Michael Iglesias,
Here.
Clayton, Sanford, you got it?
Here.
Catilda, got it. All righty, John Martin Green, you absent, so I. Okay, introduction, presentation, announcement, subcommittee reports, old business. All right, I wanted to give you, quick announcement about the Manhattan Business District. I had tried to have the June meeting of this committee in the Manhattan Business District because it's several blocks, it's not a building. And because it'd be June and the weather would be nice, we would be outdoorsing. Anyway, they cannot meet on June the 4th. They already up for that thing. So we have the choice of the 3rd or the 5th, or to have our June meeting here and schedule another date with them. What would you guys like to look at doing?
Can you repeat this?
Okay.
June the 3rd.
The June 4th date is not available. The available date that we could meet with the Manhattan Business District is June the 3rd or June the 5th. The Monday or the Wednesday.
Either of those presently could work for me. I have flexibility. My semester.
What about the other members of the committee?
On the 3rd, if it's on at 6:30, I have the health and environment. Health and environmental.
All right, so then what about the 5th?
It will work.
Will the 5th work for anybody else or everybody else?
I'll have to be online. The reason for that is I'll be working for the DOJ in California over the summer.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
Who said you could go? You don't have permission.
Yeah, I
Have
can't talk
permission.
about it.
How you gonna be online and we gonna be touring the building?
I don't
It'll
know.
be a virtual tour.
Yeah, okay, all right, but more or less, do we wanna reschedule the meeting to the 5th, or do we wanna meet on the 5th and meet on? Meet on the 4th and meet on the 5th, what do we wanna do?
Remind us of the purpose of the meeting with the Manhattan
Manhattan.
Business District.
So you'll know what's there, including the fact that they are supposed to have a whole floor. I know they better, set up for small businesses so that you could, like my son used to do, rent a little corner office space, but you had a full conference room and your address.
Oh,
His address used to be 19 Wall Street. You don't wanna go there. I remember that very distinctly.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I'm a
But you need to
reference
see
system.
that property because it's a very big property. It's the only real business district we have in West Harlem.
Okay, and where is it?
It's a 126 to 127 from Amsterdam back to.
Oh, I know right where it is. It's where
Let me
Harlem
build-
Development Court. Right, yes, yeah.
Right, okay, yeah, because they own that property as well, yes. Yes, they own that property as well. Hi Joyce, how you doing?
This is the factory district, right? There's somebody who presented on it a few months ago.
Yes, the Manhattan, but it's called the Manhattanville Business District.
Okay. Businesses.
That's what it's.
Oh, thought you were saying Manhattan Business District.
Yeah,
It's
that's
Manhattanville.
and Bill.
Manhattanville Business District.
When
Okay.
you, Manhattan business.
No,
It's Manhattanville.
Manhattanville is the area of the business district.
Okay.
Yes.
When the Janus people spoke to us a few months back, that would help.
Right,
Jerry.
my boy.
Oh, it's a co-working space also. is what you're
Oh,
saying.
yes,
Oh, wow.
oh, yes, very much so, yes. Oh, thank, yeah, Joyce, thank you. Yeah. That's a district that we really need to pay attention to because of its location. The location of it is around the corner from 125th Street, up the block from two different major subways. You can take the IMD or the IRT and reach that district a block away. And I know that there's a lot of small businesses in homes that would love to have an area that they could have their business address. It doesn't have to be in their home, and they can have a little office and function, and yeah, so. That much I do, no, thank you, Joyce, so. My whole thing that I lost track and I need to get back to is when would we like to go see this property? That's what I wanna know.
Before the end of June.
Sorry?
Before the end of June.
Oh, listen, honey, either the Monday or the Wednesday, not the end of June. But the end, because our meeting is on Tuesday. They cannot have it there on Tuesday. So we either have to do it on the Monday or on the Wednesday. So I need to, somebody said Wednesday.
She's proposing that either we meet the first Wednesday of next month, that would be the third, or the first, I mean, the fifth, or the first Monday would be the third.
But before the end of June. If we don't select the third or the fifth,
Oh.
we select another day, it's gonna be still before the end of June. So you should not.
Actually, she only gave us two choices.
Okay.
Monday.
I was
the
wondering why she
third,
didn't
and
get that.
Second is Wednesday, the fifth of June. And you said Monday was not good for you. I'm indifferent between both.
Right, I heard you, yes, I heard you say that, yes.
You're good, Chris.
We're getting a sign. We're getting a sign. The sign. The sign is fine.
Oh, yes, we discussed it at the meeting.
Joyce, just let me fill in what we're trying to do. I was trying to get the Manhattanville district to, let us have our meeting there, and they can't. So, because our meeting is June 4th and they are already booked on something. So they are willing to let us come the 3rd or the 5th. So we were now trying to find out which date would work. What's name said the 5th will work for her. Will the 5th work for any other member? You said it's okay with you, though, not fair.
Or, the third option I thought you had proposed was that we just, meet here on the
No.
regular day.
Two different things.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the meeting with them straight, then we can back up to here.
Okay.
What's on your agenda for the 5th, Joyce, June 5th?
June.
June 5th, can you do?
That's a Wednesday.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I really know. It's available.
Okay,
I know you and I, we spoke about,
they
the
can't do,
difference between having a meeting and having a site visit.
Oh, yeah.
And
but they couldn't do the site, okay. I was,
any day. Site visit could be any day.
no. I was trying to get them to let us hold our June meeting there. But on that day, they're booked. So first to begin with is if you want to see the property, everybody says the 5th seems to work for everybody, right? That's number one. Now, committee, do we want to still meet on the 4th or do we want to reschedule our meeting for the 5th?
I'm fine with, if other people are with.
Is everybody
rescheduling.
all right if the June meeting of this committee is on the 5th rather than the 4th? And we can meet there and be done with it.
Engagement on the 4th anyway. I was gonna miss the 4th meeting.
Well, I have no
So that works
objection.
well for me.
You have an engagement?
I do.
You are pressing it.
No.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, because you gonna throw me off. I ain't gonna let you throw me off. 1, 2, 3. The June meeting will be on the 5th.
Sure.
Agreed?
All in favor?
Okay, it will be
Aye.
June
Aye.
5th at the Manhattanville Business District Office.
Yes.
So let's,
Put that on your calendar.
The only thing, my only concern
Huh?
is we have people who attend our meeting on Zoom. So how are we going to do that? Because our meeting is supposed to be public. Am I right, Madison? Right?
Yeah, you guys can consult
So,
with the chair on that too, if you guys.
No, the meeting is open. Okay, if, cause I was chair of the committees when they had a seat. You know, I know how it's supposed to be and how it can and cannot be. So your committee meeting can be open, and I've known when the meeting was closed, right on 125th Street, locked the door with the police standing there, you couldn't come in. Cause the community board is a government agency and it can close the door. Anyway, so are we doing what? Are we meeting the June meeting on the 5th?
Yeah.
At the
Everybody's
Manhattan?
in favor.
We just agreed, yes.
Yes, okay, I'm just writing it down, the 5th at 6:30 PM, because I have to let them know what they have to do. And then if that's the case, it may be a little
And
surprise.
perhaps Madison, an advisory can go out to the
I'll send a
community,
reminder.
you know, that we'll be meeting on the Wednesday instead of a normal Tuesday.
I ain't
versus
trying to,
Thursday.
I really ain't trying to let go. I need you all to understand, this Manhattanville Business District is 2 blocks. It's not across the street. So I'm not looking for 5,000 people to come in that may not want to walk all over. This meeting is gonna be, you have to tour that area so you know what is in the business district.
Got you, but what we're talking about is like the people we have.
I'm saying so that you all understand when we have somebody on it, then when we walk in the way, we're gonna walk with this? How do you walk with it? I don't know.
No, provisions might be able to be made such that, I mean, I expect that they have a monitor and Wi-Fi. And so we could Zoom the same way we.
Zoom the whole trail that we're gonna take?
Oh, well, no. So that's all that we're gonna do, is we're gonna tour that site?
That's the only way you're gonna know what's on that site, that's
Oh. Oh, okay.
right.
So we're gonna have a site visit before we do our committee visit,
All
our
right.
committee
Oh,
visit.
So you guys are not having your.
So we're not gonna have a
traditional-
sit-down
You're not having your traditional meeting, you're having a site visit meeting.
I see, thank you, so
So,
I'm.
wait, so we will not be meeting on the first, what is it?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, we will be meeting on the first Wednesday of June. That's it. So that meeting on the 5th at 6:30 PM will be there, and it will also involve seeing all of the businesses that's in the area and the park they have built and all that's going on, because that's in Hansville District area is 2 blocks big.
Very good.
All right, so June meeting is the 5th at 6:30. Okay, I have to let them know. So that's done. West Harlem Piers.
Park.
Ready for me?
You hear it? Are you ready for me? I'm ready for you. Keep going. 'Cause I got it here.
They gave you the.
Yeah, I was gonna, let me, a
Oh,
little introduction. So I am John Harold. My title is Riverside Park Administrator. I actually oversee a district of parks that runs from 59th Street to 181st Street. It's Riverside Park South, Riverside Park, West Harlem Piers Park, Sakura Park, and half of Port Washington Park. West Harlem Piers Park is part of the area that I'm responsible for. We look after it with my team. By the way, I wanted to just point out my deputy administrator, Kelly Jordan, is on with us as well. And we may be joined by Whitney Dearden, who does the programming. So I hope she's on.
Will they be able to hear him?
Yeah, they hear him, it's patching.
They hear
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kelly Jordan. I'm the deputy administrator. I can hear you guys. Thanks for having me.
So we look after it's roughly 1.8 acres of West Harlem Piers Park, just as we would any other part of the district. But of course, we have the funding from, Columbia University, to, enhance, is the word that we've been using, enhance the care of the parks. By providing some expense money and some
John, give
personnel.
me a minute,
Yes.
but they don't really know, you need to have a copy of this. But your board members have a copy, he knows, you guys need to know, board members. Pass down. So you understand what we're talking about.
Yes, I'll take it.
Okay.
Oh, you
You can one too, I just wanted them to understand what kind of money we talking about here.
Are there any more?
I just,
If I give you a piece of paper to read.
go ahead.
Read it.
Oh, yeah, there you are, John.
They're back.
Where does this come from? This is page 40 of what, may I ask?
the 68.
Was that clear?
Community
The
benefits.
benefit
Thank
agreement,
you.
yes.
That's what I thought you meant. Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, not at all. So this funding allows us to provide extra care to West Harlem Piers Park in addition to what we would be doing anyway. Parks, the non-Columbia funding goes to, the administration, goes to landscape architects, all the supervisors, trades, programming, that goes on there. Trying to think what else. The garbage trucks that pick up the trash.
Those are private?
No, this is all the city that I'm talking about. What the city does for the park
Okay,
and would do with or without the Columbia funding. What the Columbia funding enables us to do is have staff focused on there. As opposed to, any other 1.8 acres of the district that, we pass through as we could and address it. But this way, we are able to have staff assigned to care for it. Pardon me. It does something else very important in these days. In 2008, when this agreement was signed, I had 95 staff. I now have about 50 staff. West Harlem Piers Park has the same number of staff that it had in 2008.
What's the staff at the West Home Depot?
So there are positions, they're not all full because people leave and so forth. 4 what we call city park workers, which is your basic foot soldier. A programming associate, which is a seasonal line, who helps with the programs we put on, and I brought a list of what those are. 4 PEP officers, and occasionally 4 PEP officers. Occasionally we get another seasonal park worker. I'm trying to think if I'm going to go through, I actually have it all written down, I'm gonna go through it, but what we have had in years past is a gardener assigned there. The very first year, we actually had a supervisor for West Harlem Piers Park. The costs of personnel have gone up through the years, through collective bargaining. And I'm not able to fit all those staff into the Columbia funding, so for example, we don't have a gardener assigned there. We still take care of the horticulture with the gardener who's in the park. Riverside Park Conservancy provides horticultural care. So the gardening still gets done, but it's not coming out of the Columbia money. The city's providing it. The supervision is the same thing. We no longer have a supervisor specifically for West Harlem Piers Park. But we have supervisors who oversee it as they would the rest of the district.
John,
Yes,
have you been to the Piers?
many times. I was there before it even opened.
I was there, that's the reason they're there. You were there before it opened, I'm the reason it was there.
I
The
know.
reason I say that is because West Harlem Piers doesn't have a park, it has a grassy area. Where's this park you all be talking about?
The inland portion
I know where you're saying, but
is
considered a
it is
park.
categorized as city parkland.
Okay. That's
That's
good.
why we call it West Harlem Piers Park.
No, I know why, but keep going. I know why.
So it is considered parkland, and that's why it's rolled into
Okay.
this district. You've been
Now,
asked,
we have all of these workers year round or seasonal workers?
so the two that are seasonal, the program associate is there usually from April to October. And if we have an additional seasonal park worker, they're there just for 4 to 6 months. The other,
You said the program associated October to April? No, when did you?
no, it's in the summer,
April
it's
to October.
in the warm weather, yeah.
Okay.
Everyone else, the PEP officers and the CPWs are year-round positions. They're not always, as we say, people come and go, and sometimes they're vacant, but the lines are there. So for those
The
four
line?
positions.
Okay,
Oh,
go
no,
ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Because they're not always there. Seasonally, of course, you see, I'm up the block from the park, so I'm there all the time with my dogs, I know.
Right.
Seasonally, yes, you'll have 2 or 3 people, they go through the park and they say hi. Mainly what they do is they keep the bicycle people from running through the middle.
Those are the parks enforcement.
So that's what happened on them too, about fixing the streets by the, you know what I'm trying to say, so they know where to take the bicycles, not in the park.
Marking on the.
Yeah.
Bicycle path.
Yes, that's not, is that part of you, because it wasn't you, it was, but
The
anyway,
greenway,
right.
the
but-
portion we call the greenway.
Yes,
is
because they
yes.
ride all through the park because they don't have, and usually in the summer months, you had an officer that used to stand there and keep them from riding in the middle of the
Well, they're
park.
still supposed to be doing that.
Okay. So, you know, I see some of what is supposed to be done when it's done in the summer months.
Right. Well, they are there year round.
Okay,
You may not see them standing out there all day long in January, but they are assigned
I
there.
don't even see them walking, but they can go.
Well, we can talk about that separately.
Yeah,
They-
we
they
will, keep
are
going.
supposed to be out there.
Yes. Do they still have that office there at 135th?
That is currently our office for the entire district right now, because
Oh,
because
good.
the 79th Street boat basin is being reconstructed, not the boat basin, the rotunda, the rotunda.
Yeah.
And that's historically was our operations base. We took over this building
Okay.
in 2008, 2009,
Yeah.
which was fortunate because when we had to leave the rotunda, we were able to just pretty much.
Cause
move
that's a
here.
big, that building has enough room, yeah, okay.
But that's temporary until the rotunda, temporary that we're all there, I mean.
And then it will remain just for the West Harlem Piers area people, yeah.
That's right, that's right. So that's my introduction. What I brought with me, because I know you've been asking, how is the money spent? And just a little bit on this. It's, I don't know if it says 12.5, yeah, it's 500,000 per year for 25 years with an escalation.
3% annual.
That's right. So if it were just straight money, it would be $12.5 million. But since it's spread out, it's escalated, it's about 18 million over the 25 years. There's an interesting clause in it. They have to give us that money. If I don't spend it all in a year, I can roll over a certain amount to the next year, but beyond that, they have to put it in an interest-bearing account, and it accumulates. And then if we get, as we will, to year, forget my back, I'm not trying to do it.
That's fine.
The year 25, then there will be a year 26, or maybe a year 27 while we spend down that money. So if I don't spend a year's allocation for one reason or another, we're still gonna spend it, just spend it later, and then it will be escalated, so it doesn't lose the dime.
And it will still be designated to the West Harlem, not the rest of the Parks Department, as has been done.
No, I can assure you, that when we negotiated the terms with Columbia, they were very adamant to make sure that that didn't happen. Anyway, so what I brought with me. Is, one set, because it's a lot of paper, one set of all of the reports since 2008.
That's what I want.
Which I'll give to you.
Thank
And it is, it's one full set. Oh, that's, it is an interesting report, the format of which is dictated in the agreement, so I can't change it, and there's a lot of boilerplate that just gets repeated every year. But what I also did was extract from that, so year by year information.
That's it, yeah.
Of the cash flow through and how we spent it. This is what I was going to put. You need one more? This is what I was going to put up on the screen and then walk you through it.
Can you?
Yes, I'm going to try to. Yeah, can I? I don't know. I'm going to try. So. Let's see.
Oh, there it is, this one's green.
Oh, here we go. So what I've done is for each and every year, on the left side, I outlined what the funding was used for, and then on the right side, I actually track,
More copy, please.
of course,
Thank you.
track the money as it goes through.
I'm sorry, could you just remember, the fiscal year is, mention the fiscal year for me again?
So the city's fiscal years are July 1 to June 30.
Okay,
So that's why it's 2008 to 2009, 2009 to 2010.
I just need to be reminded of that, July 1, 6:30.
It's in the column there.
Yeah, I got you, I see fiscal year.
Now, in the very first year, 2008, the park didn't open until October. So we prorated that first 500,000, based on the number of days. And it was, $347,945. So that was what we were allocated for the first year. But just to back up for a minute, the green column is an estimate of the value of the Parks Department personnel who are assigned, who contribute to the park, the value of my time or the landscape architect's time or the tradespeople's time or the other staff who go there. And they, I'm so sorry. And $55,000 is an estimate, thank you, of what the city spends on non-personnel expenses. And we would be doing that with or without, we would probably spend a little bit more there without the Columbia staff, but we'd be doing that anyway. So in that first year, we spent $249,040 on personnel and $19,000 on other expenses. And in the center, the very center, I point out that the funding was prorated because it was a portion of the year. We had one park supervisor, 4 CPWs, 1 gardener, 1 program associate, and 4 PEP officers. And you mentioned the building on 135th Street. We got a one-time agreement from Columbia, in that very first year, put $50,000 into that building, so that, because we were spending about $200,000 to renovate the building.
But you were the only organization here, right? That building that it was your office and there was two more, that's not even called.
Prior to that, PAL had it.
That's what it was.
PAL was in there.
That's what it was.
They left. There was one bathroom.
Inside,
Yeah.
don't even
No, no, it was inside.
Don't go there. Okay,
You know,
that's the
the
next
wiring,
thing on the list.
the wiring was old. You know, we had to fix it up. There was one window in the whole building.
Yeah,
The other-
that's true.
So we had to fix it up. It cost about $200,000. They allowed us to put $50,000 because it was going to be the base for the staff working in West Harlem, Jersey. So they agreed to do that. It was only one time, but that was part of the first year's spending. That's in addition to the personnel and the team numbers. And just to walk you through, because every year is the same year, but
Excuse me, can I just ask you, the abbreviation of PS, what does that stand for again?
park supervisor.
Oh, okay, the supervisor.
The legend is on the back of the other sheet, the other side of the sheet.
I was just going to
Okay.
point that out. It's at the
About-
bottom.
All right, so the park supervisor was over the Forbes, city park workers and the gardener and the program. Okay, I see. All right, very good. Thank you for that.
My colleague Susan Ivey has a runner.
Hello, Mr. Sam.
On the other side and upside down, I got you.
So
The gentleman joining us,
Steve Simon,
that's what I thought it was.
you don't remember who I am?
Oh, you know, it's been a while since we've seen each other.
Hasn't been that long, Maria.
I thought you was, I couldn't remember your name, Steve, how you doing? I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. So what I've done on the right side is to allow you to track from year one to current. So we had that, 347,000 payments. There was no prior money there. We spent from the 347, we spent the 318 that you see at the left in the blue column, which left us with $29,000. Now, one of the things that we worked out with Columbia was that, with the city, for example, if I don't spend something by June 30, I lose that money. If I ordered a truck and it didn't show up, I pay for it twice, because they take the money out the year I ordered it, and then they take it out again when the bill comes in the next year. We didn't want to have that sort of thing happening. So they said, you can roll over 10% of a year's income to deal with things like that. Just automatically, you can roll over 10%. Anything above 10%, assuming you choose to use it, anything above that goes into the reserve for the future, for year 26. So that's how that starts to accumulate.
Did you say earlier that any monies that were not spent from the CBA funds went into an interest-bearing account?
That's right. Whether they keep them in an account, I don't know.
And that's not just 10%, that's any monies that were not spent during the fiscal year.
I keep the 10%. It's anything above that. So for example, if you just look ahead to here, what year is that?
No, but Mr. Green is correct, though. Even any money that's unspent during that year, after you collect the 10%, we still retain it, and it still rolls over into the succeeding year.
No, anything above, let me just, if you jump down to a year.
The bottom line is that we don't lose any money.
Yes, exactly. I was just gonna show you how that is. If you scroll down to,
Why do we have to slow down, Mr. Sir? I'm just looking at the top here. It says, okay, so you got 318, the payment was 347,945.
yes,
You spent 318,168, so the remainder was 29,777.
which is
That's
less,
just what you rolled over.
which is less than 10% of the 347, so I got to keep all of it. 29,000 is less than 10% of the 347,
Okay,
so I got to keep all of it. Now, I was.
But anything in excess of 10%,
Contract.
well,
Yes, so if you look at, for example, if you look at the third year,
okay,
the leftover was 70,000,
yeah,
which is more than 10% of 530.
uh-huh,
So I was able to keep 53,000, which is 10% of the 530.
uh-huh.
And the remaining 17,000, I had to essentially give back to Columbia to hold till the year 26, earning money.
All right, so, okay, and the 10% provision involves,
It's purely okay, you get to keep 10%. I mean, it was just a number that we came up with.
for what do you get to keep 10%?
Or outstanding invoices, things I started in one year that rolled forward, that I budgeted for. It just allows you to not lose all your money the way you do with the city on June 30.
Right,
And to roll forward.
I'm just wondering if that 10% is dedicated to West Harlem.
Oh,
as
absolutely.
well.
Every
Okay,
penny of this is
Okay.
dedicated.
good,
So if you then look at,
thank you.
really any year after year one, the remainder then shows up on the next line. So going back to year one, the remainder was 29,000. And if you go to the next, to year two, 515,000 is what Columbia had to pay us. I then added the 29,000 that I'd rolled over, so I had 544. If you're following me.
Yes.
Of the 544, go back to the left side, I spent 521. That left me with 23,000, which is still less than 10%, so I got to roll the 23,000 forward.
Okay, I see, to the next year, okay, I see, I know. Mhm.
You spent $521,000 on one park supervisor and four park workers and a gardener?
One gardener, 4 PEP officers, and then 30,000 in non-personnel expenses, so equipment, acid, trash bags, electric,
If you don't
lights.
mind, if I can ask a series of questions about that. So first, can we go back to the account? So is this an account that is managed by Columbia or is it managed by the parks?
The money above and beyond,
Okay.
Columbia gets to keep. But it escalates 3% per year. So that in year 26, we get it.
Oh, and
Another,
they-
I understand, but
the city doesn't get to keep it, because you never know.
but
Columbia keeps it.
I wanna know what
They don't-
arrangement made with Columbia that
They
they
don't-
keep, I didn't know anything about this.
they don't keep it,
Right,
as we end up getting all of it.
yes,
So it's like held in escrow?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
So they're not, I don't use the word keep, they don't keep any of it.
correct.
They hold it
They
in
have to
reserve until such time as they then turn it back over to us. And then we end up spending all of it.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, you have, it's titled to future reserve,
That's right,
rather than the column.
that's right,
Exactly, yeah.
that's what I called it, yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Columbia doesn't get to keep anything. The money that we don't spend, that's above and beyond the 10%, they have to hold, earn 3% per year from now until year 26. At this point, we're at these columns, these numbers in the rose-colored column there. With interest that's been earned is about $1 million. Oh, I'm sorry, it's about 700,000 now.
Yeah.
By year 25, it will be $1 million, which will be about the same as a year's funding at that point. So we already have year 26.
Thank you.
As of, if I spend every last penny from now on, I still have year 26 paid for. If there's any unspent money that rolls over, we could be looking at a year 27 or a year 28. We will get that funding, and it's escalating, so it's not losing value sitting there.
It's accruing interest.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
And just to follow up on John's point earlier about the payroll, can you do a breakdown of the payroll for each position?
Very roughly, can you hand me back one of those, just anyone, really? No, the annual report.
Oh, yes,
Just anyone.
okay. Here,
So just for example, in that first year. So the park supervisor that we had at the time was $66,000. The gardener was $32,000.
Okay.
The city park workers, it looks like their salary was about 29,600. So there were two that got about 29,500, 29,600. Two others that were paid less, presumably because they weren't, they hadn't been hired. So they would get a full year's salary, but they were paid for the time they were there. But I mean, it's right here, but it's hard to share with everybody. So the four park workers, 29, 18, 29. The programming coordinator, we actually never hired that first year for some reason. Well, I know why, because we didn't open until October and we didn't do any programming during the winter. So that's why we didn't hire the programming person that year. And PEP officers at the time were earning 15 something. And there were two that were on right from the start and two that came later, so they didn't get a full year's salary. So that's where 249, which is the number.
Great.
That's where the.
all right, so now, were these not dedicated park staff personnel?
Yes,
So then, was it not the Parks Department that was supposed to be paying those salaries? Did the park stop paying them?
we wouldn't have had those people, most likely. I mean, the park supervisor was somebody we transferred in, but most of these people wouldn't have been on payroll at all. These positions were created because of the Columbia funding,
I thought they were dedicated park personnel.
dedicated to West Harlem Piers Park.
Yes, but not by the Parks Department.
Yes, they're park department, just like
Employees.
I'm assigned to Riverside Park,
Mhm.
not Van Cortlandt Park.
Got you.
They're assigned to West Harlem Piers Park, but they're Parks Department employees. And the way the Parks Department pays their salary is with the Columbia money.
Not out of the Parks Department budget.
Exactly, that's exactly right. That's how we're using the Columbia money.
What you wanna know is providing they're at the West Harlem Fairs, which they're not, because West Harlem Fair started to learn the economic development. And they ended up getting it at the.
Well, if there was no CBA funded, then there would be
They
no
wouldn't be
personnel for
involved.
parks, for the Harlem, West Harlem
No,
Kids Park?
like I said at the very beginning, I look after 400 acres.
Yes,
Harlem Piers is 0.5% of the 400.
1.8.
I would have covered it.
Okay,
I would have taken care of it.
wait, okay. So
But not with dedicated personnel.
But I wouldn't necessarily get off the
Okay, so there wouldn't be dedicated personnel.
No, we probably would have like a mobile crew that operates, in Park, Riverside Park, as well as at West Harlem Piers. But you wouldn't have the dedicated personnel that the Columbia funding makes possible.
When
Okay.
What does the personnel do at the Fairs?
they do the same kind of work they would do anywhere else, cleaning, emptying the trash. Well, I'm talking about the inland. You say the piers, but
I'm talking about the Fairs. I'm not talking about marginal street. I'm not talking from the Hudson River to Marginal Street,
That's
which is
the
where the
park.
park is.
that's the part.
What are they doing with the pier?
Well, one pier is ours and we clean it and we remove graffiti. And we fix the water fountains and the fish tables and we replace the signs.
What fountain? That's, keep going, I'm like, where is the pier? I'm lost here. What, you saying one is yours and where are the other piers?
The other one is the excursion pier and EDC manages that. There are two piers. There's the fishing pier, which is,
Right,
and then the south pier is the excursion pier.
right.
And the fishing
And that
pier is
doesn't come
opposite
under
where
your
Fairway
funding,
used to.
that excursion pier?
Up to the, there's a gate beyond which is right now is the Baylander.
Yeah, that's over somewhere else,
So
yes.
well, it's off this other pier. Beyond that gate is EDC, that landing barge, I guess it's called, the ferry barge is EDC. The actual piers that are permanent and solid, those we take care of. we clean them. Shovel the snow off
The
them.
Bayland is one whole side of the area. The other side has 3 docks. It has a fishing area out into the Hudson River, then it has a pier where the boats come every summer and let the people on off that excursion. Then you have
Yeah.
another pier I see every now, Columbia will jump in there and throw a boat over there on the side. But I don't know why, but I see that little pier being used, cause I go down and look. So now I'm trying to understand
Is there any
where,
way,
what, and why.
as you look this up, is there any way, you can pull up like a PDF version of that document? That way we can
Which
take a
one?
look.
This one?
This one right here, yeah. 'Cause that one has the year 2009.
Yeah, well,
Here-
That's because I just said, give
No,
me
they're
any
not
one,
the-
that's the one that you
the other
handed.
side, the-
Here is,
And that's the one for 2008, 2009.
that's right.
Sorry.
Where are we? Here. So,
Okay, you just went past the Bayland over there.
Here
Now
we are.
go back. Now
Now.
we're the West Harlem Pier.
okay,
See?
so do you see
this
my
area
cursor?
here?
Yes,
This is, we refer to this whole thing as the fishing pier.
okay.
And then
Right,
this,
from 135th down,
This
that's where the other pier where the people sit.
and this one we refer to as the excursion pier because it's intended for boats to dock there. The railings actually open and you can bring a boat into there. Rarely does it
That's
ever
the
happen.
short pier, yeah.
Now, right here where my cursor is a gate. Everything beyond that is EDC, Economic Development Corp. in Dock, New York. But everything inside that gate, we look after as part of looking after the park.
And all of that green space
Is park,
the park, which
That's
is called park.
that's right. And so to answer your earlier question, the park workers cut the grass, they pick up the trash, they weed, they remove graffiti, they fix things that break.
That's,
Go down there.
that's all the block.
You
Block
can do
so
this
half.
across the street if it's small.
So do these employees, do they work in other areas besides the West Harlem Pier?
Occasionally, but mostly they're there.
What does occasion?
They're seasonally there.
No,
No.
no.
Because of the community benefit funding, they're there year round.
Most of them are there are two, as I said, there are two that are seasonal. All the others are year round.
Thank you. The seasonal, no, the year round are the ones I don't see.
Well,
It's
that's, well,
the
that's,
two that we see all the time that I go down every other day and I see them. So wherever the other ones are, I don't know because I don't see them.
So Marina's saying that your workers are playing hooky.
Well, first of all, they're working 2 shifts, 7 days a week. So they're not all there
that's
on the
right.
same shift. They have to be spread around in order to cover 7 days and 2 shifts. So on any given
Wait, a minute,
shift.
2 shifts at the piers?
Yes, so on any given day, on any particular shift, I mean, you may not have more than 2 people working.
You might have one person.
What, give me the time of the shifts. From what time to what time and what time to what?
From, I'm gonna, don't hold me. to this.
Daytime, yeah.
No, don't hold me to this. October 15 to May 15,
Right,
I believe it is. We have a single shift, which would be 7 to 3:30.
there you go.
During as it gets light later,
There you go.
we have a second shift. Right now, the second shift is only until 5 o'clock, but come late, come
Yeah, I know, cause I've
midsummer,
seen them
they
working
go
later,
later
yes.
and later. So that
Yes.
there's coverage throughout the day when people are there. In contrast, I can't do that anywhere else in the district. I cannot do that anywhere else in the district. I have one person who goes around and locks the bathrooms. And we used to lock playgrounds. We don't always do that anymore. But I don't have anyone on after 3:30
Because the Parks Department budget.
because I don't cover that.
No,
But
because
here-
this covers
Yeah,
it.
But here we
The
have,
money that we were previously given to have second shifts in various parks was in one of the recent budget cuts, we lost that money. So we no longer have, for a brief period of time, we had the luxury of having a second shift in some of our parks. But in the last couple of rounds of budget cuts, we lost that money. So this is maybe the only place in Manhattan where we currently have the money to do a second shift.
I was gonna say, this is, I don't compare if money is public. No matter where else they had to cut, that money is there and covers it.
Well, this money would not be cut. It's exempt from those budget cuts because it's not tax levy money.
Right.
It's a private grant.
It's a private grant, but that, therefore they have, that's what I'm trying to say, they have it, but there.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming, gentlemen. Hi. I'm kind of impressed with the job they do. I don't really see the workers there, but I'm not going to look for them. I certainly don't spend the time that you do patrolling. I don't at all. But in the summertime, you know, I've been there, in the mornings, you know, after a big night. I see the place is picked up and it's looking nice. I mean, I expect to see a whole bunch of beer cans and stuff all around, and I don't see too much of that. I'm kind of
Started
impressed.
cleaning up behind myself.
No, to just,
So I'm kind of impressed.
no, let me tell you why.
Cause I live in that area. I mean, I live across the street from Manhattanville. I told you that. And so sometimes I walk down there in the morning. So I say,
The
oh,
reason,
wow,
the people who go to the West Harlem Piers
Uh-huh.
do not really go to picnic as much as you would think.
Uh-huh.
So there's a whole giant deck that's only for the fishermen and it's really out into the Hudson River. It's
Oh.
not the piece
I
that
never
you
see
see
that
on,
part.
yeah, you see, you gotta go around, that's it, cause they
I'm talking about
monitor
the
it.
green part, Maria, where I can
That,
walk.
no, watch, I want you to understand
Yeah.
that they cover it all, and in the summer, their people come and they cover all of it, where the men fish,
Uh-huh.
where you're saying here, this is not all of it, it goes all
Right, yeah, I
the way
see.
out there.
Yeah. I get
Okay,
it.
and they cover all of that, and they want,
With a
they
small crew.
look, right. But what they're telling me about the 4 or 5 people, I've only really ever seen 2 or 3,
Okay.
but the ones I see are visible.
Well,
And
that's the
they're
idea. At any point in time, as Steve was saying, there's probably only going to be 2, maybe when the shifts overlap, you might have more. But at the start and end of those 2 shifts, you're only gonna see 2 people, maybe 1 on some days if somebody's
Well,
out.
no, when it is the high summer season, they're very visible.
Good.
Very visible when it's summer. I
Glad to
don't
hear that.
expect to see them standing out there at 5 degrees in December. But I do know what I do see, where I see them standing and whatever, so that you'll know what you're looking for now. I know, and my buddy over there definitely knows I know what I'm looking for over there.
So I have a question about the payroll, so back to the document. So according to that document, between 2008, 2009, it's about $250,000 in payroll, but on the sheet, it shows that approximately $195,000 is given by the city.
So that is, this very elaborate report. That really was worked out with Columbia. There's a long sheet here. And it lists all the other people that might be working, helping with the park. Park managers, landscape architects, the senior supervisor, supervisors who fill in, the programming director who actually creates.
Don't skip past those 3 park supervisors, you need 3, and you got a principal
Well-
park supervisor and 3 more.
Well,
Okay,
if
keep going.
what we did here
Mhm.
is to say, okay, the park manager maybe spends 5% of their time or focused on West Harlem Piers Park, because they've got the whole
Yeah.
thing. So that almost $120,000 salary works out to $4,000 of that person's time. And I did this with the landscape architect, with the various supervisors, with the parks enforcement sergeant who oversees the officers. They're not just there by
And you
themselves.
have 2 of them or 1 of them?
Well, the reason that's there is that, I think this was 15 years ago, but the reason that that's there is that it may have been two different people, but in the budget office breaks them out as two different people. It may also be that similar to our staff, they're not in all the time. You know, the sergeant is only working about 5 days a week and may have the morning shift. But who's overseeing the other shift of PEP officers is another sergeant.
You kind of like prorated it in a way?
That's
Because-
exactly what this is doing.
Exactly.
So the PEP sergeant, who is paid at the time $76,000, we assigned 15,000 and 7,000, 8,000 of their time. Now for them, it's a higher percentage because they're looking after here. They're looking after Riverside Park South, where we also have PEP officers, and a little bit in between. So it's a larger percentage of their time than, say, the park manager, who allocates about 5% of his time to the park.
Okay, one more question for me, please.
All the questions you want.
Thank you kindly. So I'm wondering what percentage now of the Parks Department budget is still dedicated to Harlem Piers? And with the budget cuts that you sustained recently, has the Parks Department budget that was normally dedicated, whatever percentage of that budget that was dedicated to West Harlem Piers Park, been cut?
The Parks Department never had a budget dedicated to the West Harlem Piers. It's the Columbia money that.
Well,
It has,
what John just pointed out is that, there are personnel who, by dint of their regular job function, are spending time and doing work in West Harlem Piers Park. So in fact, there is money that comes out of the park's regular budget that is utilized for West Harlem Piers Park. I would have to believe, you would know this better than me, John, I would have to believe that after the two recent rounds of budget cuts, the amount of money that we've spent anywhere,
Just going down.
anywhere has declined.
Okay.
And not just West Harlem Piers, everywhere, every park in your district has probably suffered.
That's
As
right.
a result of recent budget cuts.
remember,
Yeah,
at the
but-
very
but
beginning,
wait a minute.
at the very
You're talking about budget cuts, and I'm talking about dedicated Columbia's money.
Well,
That's what.
you asked,
But I asked if the Parks Department dedicates part of its budget to the West Harlem Piers Park,
Yes,
before and or beyond
yeah.
the CBA money.
And actually, this is a question that your chair, Victor Edwards, also asked me at one point. Does the Parks Department spend any money of its own in West Harlem Piers Park?
Great minds think alike.
And as John just pointed out, yes, we do. We buy.
On what?
so
Well, it's in one of these charts.
if I could try it this way. Those 4 CPWs, they don't run the park. They don't exist in a vacuum.
Mhm.
The PEP officers don't decide what they're going to enforce and when they're going to enforce it and so forth. They're not there in a vacuum. The programming associate doesn't decide what the programs are going to be. The program director comes up with all of that. The program associate is just there to put on the shows. They don't exist in a vacuum. It takes this structure. The PEP officers have a sergeant and a captain overseeing them. The gardener, when there is one there, takes direction from our landscape architects. The exterminator is paid for by parks. What we call a maintenance worker, which is maybe confusing, it's a tradesperson who can fix things, electrical, plumbing and so forth. The other seasonal workers who may help clean up on the 4th of July, something when it's really heavy. Those people that Columbia is paying for aren't existing in a vacuum. They're part of a larger organization. And that's where the city is funding it. And even if we didn't have the Columbia money, even if we didn't have any of those people, we'd still take care of the park.
Those salaries would have to be paid.
Yeah,
Well,
I know
well-
what you're saying, what you're saying makes sense when you're saying it. But some of us know the West Harlem Piers was always economic development. And they had the funds to take care of it. Because unfortunately, I wasn't there, they added parks to it, and that's how parks got the money. The West Harlem Piers was always under economic development. But anyway, keep going. One of us was here, you know I was here. Keep going.
So you say the word on the what?
Economic development ran the piers.
Well, you built the piers, they didn't run them.
They built the piers.
They built the park, but,
They built the park.
No, they built the piers.
And the park.
They added.
the piers are part of the park.
And they presided over the maintenance of the.
No.
Yes,
No,
economic
they did.
development did
They did.
until.
No, they never did.
Oh.
There was an MOU,
They
they
never
weren't even
intended
open.
They never intend, they're not in the business of maintaining parks. So they,
They don't even, you know,
Correct.
they don't
But
even,
they were in the business of taking care of the piers.
never.
And then,
well, they take care of a portion of one of those piers where the Baylander is.
Which actually they don't anymore. They've given it over to
economic
something.
development, they're not taking care
They
of
have
the land.
given it over to something called Doc NYC.
All right.
Doc NYC has their own financial problems, I've dealt with them.
So they manage that.
But I think, but in terms of like, capital projects, they have taken, the lead on doing a capital project, to rebuild, one of these piers, right?
They didn't rebuild it, but some of
It's a
the,
project in the works.
well, no, there are a lot of pilings. The piles that have to be repaired or possibly replaced. They didn't rebuild the whole pier.
The one where,
The-
what's the one that
Big
fell,
posts that
that
go
it
down.
fell into the ocean?
The kayak.
The kayak launch fell
That's right.
into that was
They're-
funded and whatever, yes.
They're going to do that.
Yeah.
Because they do stuff out over the water,
Right.
and they're just better at it.
Okay, so I'd like to go back to the payroll for a second.
Yes. And where did this number come from, is what you were asking.
Well, no, I have a question about the percentage, because you're saying that basically the amount of time that they're spending at the park, they're getting paid percentage towards that. So my question is, are these people working part-time? Are they working full-time?
They're all full-time people.
Okay,
It's how much of
Time that
Their
they're given to the
day.
piers.
their day is dedicated to Harlem Piers as opposed to Fort Washington Park or Security Park or.
That's
right.
right.
But none of them.
Because they're the manager of the entire 400 acres.
so
But
I have a question.
none of their salaries are being paid
Correct.
by the Columbia money.
Right, I understand that, but if I'm looking through this chart, there's a low percentage for a lot of these people.
Yeah,
If there's so many people that are working there and getting a piece of the pie, why aren't there fewer employees working? If so few percentage, like, for example, if somebody's 5%, 5%, all the way down, adds up to 100%, why don't you just hire one full-time employee versus
Well,
10
because
part-time?
it doesn't work that way. A park manager is not a landscape architect, is not an exterminator, is not a tradesperson, is not a parks enforcement sergeant. You need all those people.
Right, I get that, but, I mean, the other problem too is that they're already getting paid by the city through their
Yes.
payroll.
That's right.
My question is, okay, where's the rest of the money going?
For the people who are dedicated, for these people. For the parks, the CPWs and the PEP officers and the programming coordinator. That's what that's going for, the people who are assigned and dedicated to Harlem Piers.
Okay. And so, what's this? So. I understand that, but at the same time, so it's supposed to be $500,000 in accrues. There's an escrow that money is being put into, it's accruing interest, at the same time as the interest. But even in the first year, 2008 to 2009, I haven't been able to look at the other ones, but. Where's the difference in money coming from between the $350,000? So you have the $50,000 for the renovation of the building and $250,000 for payroll, so where's the other $50,000?
You're asking about this.
Yeah.
I think it's not in here, it was a separate allocation, it's not in here.
Okay,
So this is just tracking, that was
So
a.
who got it?
Well, I was
Wait,
able,
what's your, I'm sorry, so can you just repeat your question, because I'm trying to follow
he
you.
was trying to follow the arithmetic here, which he's correct. The $50,000 is not in any of these things. It was a
No,
separate.
no,
Oh, one time 50,000 park maintenance building, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
He was pointing out, 349 and 19
Right.
is
I'm
318.
trying to tell her where to look.
No,
No.
this is the payroll right here. You're saying it's the main
I'm
page.
sorry, it is in there.
That's what he get paid for.
349 and 19 is only 360, and then you add the 50.
So there'll be no misunderstanding about
370.
what she was
Three-
talking.
Okay, so what's the one-time
She's
payment?
already
If that's 19,000, that's 50,000.
Okay,
So-
wait, hold it back up, gentlemen. Let me make this up.
turned on
I'm
the money. You
apologize.
should
The
take
annual
that.
payment is 347.9.
Correct.
You spent 318.1
I actually, plus 50.
plus 50, so that's 368.
No, not plus 50. The 50's in there. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
The
the
50
50 is included in that total.
It's in the 318. That's
Oh,
right.
it's included in the total.
That's right.
It is.
Yes.
Was that the answer to your question, Michael?
So,
Okay. Okay. The one time, okay, all right. Because otherwise the math doesn't add up.
right.
No, you're right.
So the
250, I'm rounding off.
Gotcha.
250 plus 20
Right,
is 270.
right.
You add 50, it's 320 or 318.
Yes, so it has to be included in the
It
blue
is in-
318 time.
That's
right.
It is in there.
Okay, good.
So, I mean, not to question the arithmetic, but if it's on the one-time payment category, this is a one-time payment, correct? Or is it not?
Yes.
For OTPS?
No,
Okay.
the OTPS here
Okay.
is just the stuff, it's grass seed, it's plants, it's lawnmowers,
Okay.
it's string for the trimmers.
Other
it's
than personnel
all-
services.
That's right, it's stuff for the park. The 50,000 isn't in there because it went for windows and doors.
Of that building, you said that building
That's
that
right.
Pal was using that was
That's
way
right.
out of
You
shape.
need to understand that the
Exactly.
West Harlem
Yeah,
here
okay, yeah.
does not have a park. It has a grassy area. Ain't no park there. It's a grassy area. And the grassy area is from 125th to 130th, because it doesn't even go all the way
No, it's
down.
very
Cuts
small.
off.
It's a strip.
It's very small,
It's a
just a strip,
strip.
yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's kind of
Thank
elaborate.
you.
kind of generous.
Glad we all on the same
But it looks
page.
nice.
Now keep talking.
No, all right.
And,
Is
Go ahead
there
now.
any relationship between park enforcement personnel and the NYPD? Is
No.
there none at all? Okay, all
So
right.
they
Within the park.
interact.
Yes.
They get along with each other.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, there's an emergency.
They're not formally part of the they're
They're,
not formally part of the NYPD.
Okay.
they're
very good.
special patrolmen.
Yeah, they don't.
Peace officers.
They belong to the West Harlem Piers money.
okay,
City.
They're part of the Parks
Not part of it.
All
It's a
right.
division of the Parks Department.
Oh, very good, thank you.
so I'd like to conceptualize it a little bit. So in your words, and I know you'll have words for this, but in your words, how big is the park? How long would it take?
1.8 acres.
Okay, how long would it take me to walk from one
Acres?
side to the other?
It's from St. Clair,
1.8.
it's from St. Clair Place to 100 and.
I know, but how long would it take me to walk the distance?
Are you a fast walker?
No, wait.
Not New York,
What
but-
are you asking? What are you
Okay.
asking again? Where's where?
Well, I'm just asking as far as the width, the space.
It's right there.
Right, I understand that, but if this is a relatively small area.
Why,
yes,
quite small.
Why is there such a need for so many different employees? So I understand the seasonal workers, right? Maybe that makes sense. But why do you need a supervisor, a gardener? Can these roles overlap a little bit, that you don't necessarily have to pay the same role?
Well, they're not the same type. A gardener is somebody who has horticultural knowledge, they've taken courses, they have certificates. And they know how to do plants. A CPW is somebody who normally is somebody who would drive a truck, drive a snowplow. They are the ones cleaning, clearing snow, doing the basics. Yes.
I don't.
Yes, so let me just try to finish. So there are different titles, there are different kinds of work, that's why, and this is union labor, it's collective bargaining, these are titles that are defined. So that's one reason for it. but also they're just doing different kinds of work. The gardener who's in there gonna weed all day isn't gonna get up to empty the trash every time that the trash can is full, because they'll never get his weeding done.
I mean, I understand that, but that's also a very small piece of land that theoretically a weeder can also do the trash.
No.
No, not really.
Oh.
The union.
Oh, they got union rules, why?
It's not just that, it's not just that, you can't do everything.
What is the definition of what we call a handyman? I'm a French.
Oh, sure.
Who's what do you define,
The,
and somebody's a handyman?
so the title is maintenance worker.
Yeah, we don't say handy man.
Right, and we don't say, we used to say maintenance man, we say maintenance worker.
Right.
And it is a confusing title because, well, it's all maintenance, but
Yeah.
what that title is somebody who knows carpentry, who knows electrical, knows a little bit of plumbing, knows how to do masonry. You know, they're not an expert, but if I need a bench slat replaced, or I need a faucet.
Or what used to be called a handyman.
A handyman, that's what they are, basically. But we're not, I have one in the district. And when I need something done in West Harlem Piers Park, he's the one who will do it, but he's not on the Columbia funding, the city's paying for him.
But if we want to be a good steward of money which has been graciously given to us for
I wanna
such a
hear you.
period of time, will you be more cautious on managing it with somebody? And because of the space to be so small, to handle it more smart and have less people and get more somebody like handyman?
Well,
Who can
I-
do a little bit like
The handyman is, that's not what the handyman is. The handyman, as I said, is somebody, he has a van, he's got all kinds of tools in it. He can fix plumbing, he can fix electric and
But
stuff.
you see, we are handling it smart, because we aren't using the Columbia money to pay for this handyman, because the handyman is doing work throughout Riverside Park, from 59th Street to 155th Street.
Not with the Columbia money.
But so Michael and
So
Dr.
we don't use the Columbia money for that person, because that person
That
is
what we
only
did.
sporadically,
That's what I said.
is only sporadically doing work in West Harlem Piers Park, and is spending most of his time in maybe the rest of Riverside Park. So from our point of view, that's a smart thing to do.
Exactly.
We don't spend Columbia's money on somebody who is only gonna be doing a percentage of his, spending a percentage of his time at
It's not
West Harlem
wrong.
Piers.
Gotcha, but to Michael and Dr. Mongolia's point, we're talking now year-round dedicated personnel.
Yes,
Do we need CPWs in the dead of winter?
there are people in the park and there's
Do we
garbage
need-
and there's snow,
Well,
used to
well,
be snow.
Well, we did,
There's nobody that hard in the park in the winter. I know, cause I'm there.
Well, the point is to provide that kind of care. That's what you do when you have the opportunity to do it.
we do staff up, do we not, and add people during the heavy season.
And yes, and then you do,
Yeah,
and then
so-
take.
Right, but you cannot, we cannot ignore a park,
It's a year
during the
round,
rest of the year.
it's a year round.
People are still going there, and frankly, they're still leaving behind trash.
Mm-hmm.
They still needs to be cleaned, and there's still work that has to be done. So,
I gotta take a picture of this trash you keep telling me you see left at the Piers. Cause
Hopefully
it
you're
seems to
not
be one of
seeing
the
it.
best areas in the whole city. They leave,
Well, that's what
yeah, they
Chris
leave
was saying.
some, but not
It's
that
also,
much.
it's also, if I could just put
Yeah,
it,
go ahead.
it's also not efficient to let someone go in September and then try to find somebody new, good in May, and then let them go again in September, and then try to
To
find.
give them a
somebody new.
temporary summer job is what you're saying. I understand.
The caliber of the work, the familiarity with the work, the dedication, because they know they're only there for 3 months, so how much are they gonna care? You know, and I don't mean that to besmirch anybody, it's just human nature. So that's one reason we have year-round personnel.
No, wait. You talk about this speech. Hold it, honey. Let me speak. No, you speak.
Okay, yeah, first I wanted to thank you for everything. And I wanted to mention also that like, during the pandemic, I'd go on long walks in the morning in the park and would see that it was trashed, and a few hours later it would not be, so
Thank you.
I can see the workers being done.
So excuse me, you were able to take a long walk in the park?
A long walk that included the park.
Oh,
He's at Columbia, that's why, you know.
I was, yeah.
It was.
You graduated already? Well, I finished it.
Oh, congratulations.
But yeah, so
That's what I'm saying, he's, yeah, go ahead.
I think one thing which I think like, I'm also new to the board, but I think in the past year when we would discuss this often, I think there's an attitude within the board of like, we're spending a lot on maintenance and on workup expenditures. And I think there's the idea that like, what we kind of wanted were capital expenditures, like we want bathroom or things like that, or more permanent changes. And I guess maybe one question I have is like, on that thread, like, is this funding specifically tailored for like annualized expenditures, or is there a world where part of this money could be used for longer term capital?
The answer is no, we can't use this money for capital work. To go back to the origin of this funding, it's, and like everything else in here, it was mitigation for the new campus. It was to mitigate the impact of the campus on the community. That's what this, all of this, 432 million or something. The expectation was that with the new campus, West Harlem Piers Park would get more use than it would otherwise. And so the Columbia funding in the simplest definition or explanation was to compensate for that added wear and tear. But it's very explicitly not for capital work.
So where it says in the CBA, stick for staff and enhanced services.
Exactly.
Enhanced services could be the erection of a ferry dock, a
Correct.
ferry landing.
Correct. And the enhanced service might be, if the students finish up their class and go at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night to celebrate, I don't have any other staff in the park who could go clean it up. But I do have West Harlem Piers Park. It's an enhancement. I actually have staff during the summer who could go there at 8 o'clock at night and clean up after the party. Theoretically, that resulted from the presence of the campus.
And the enhanced services would include all of the programming that takes place.
That's right.
In this park.
Which we haven't even gotten
is
to.
a pretty unusual.
What programming?
We have a pretty,
Robust
schedule of, yeah. We have a pretty.
What's the program?
Get it handed out. Okay.
No, I didn't get to it yet.
Please, hand them out, let me see what this programming is.
May I just add, I was looking for the legend, OTPS, can you just?
Yes.
Other than personnel service.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And basically it's supplies, equipment,
I got other personnel, so I just wanted to know what.
and let me also say, with capital projects, if you wanted to use this money for capital projects, you blow the whole budget. If you want to build a bathroom facility, there are no sewer and water lines. So you'd spend a lot of money just on creating that. And then the bathroom facility itself could run you $3-4 million. So right away you're wiping out several years worth of operating operational expenses. So
Even if you
and of course there's a limited amount of space here. So I gotta believe that that there was a conscious decision made early on when this park was built. Not to include restrooms, but as you know, we've relented to Britta's request, and to Victor's, and we've put in.
Past summer, you did too, yeah.
And we're bringing them back in another before Memorial Day.
Right.
So you should be happy about
Steve,
that.
you're bringing them, I thought, wait a minute, I thought they were gonna be up the rest of the summer.
What's that?
The two portable.
They were there until October.
They were.
No, I'm coming up this year now, they'll be there all over the summer into the fall.
I would anticipate that.
That is the plan. I will say a caveat that we had a lot of unsavory behavior. We had people having sex in them, doing drugs in them.
The ones right there?
Yes. So, if that persists, we will reevaluate. Now, there's
Now,
nothing
wait a
unique,
minute,
there's
wait a
nothing
minute, has
unique.
that been reported to the local police department?
Yes, and Parks Enforcement deals with it.
I'll check with them. I'll check with the 26 to find out what they're doing about protecting that space.
Okay.
Cause I never heard of that happening
Okay,
there.
and Parks Enforcement was on it, they dealt with it last summer.
All right,
All I'm saying is
we'll deal with it.
with, you know, we're
Because we
city,
definitely need the toilet space at the piers, especially in the spring, summer, and fall. Winter, do what you want. Spring, summer, and fall. Women, even more than men, must have an area that they can use. And use a tree.
May I interject, please? This is Victor Edwards, Chair of the Board. Thank you for coming out, Steve and staff. I really appreciate the explanations you're giving. I've been listening the whole time. I hope to get a separate set of documents so I can go forward with them. I just have one question, well, just one question here. On the porta potties, are your parks enforcement people locking them in the evening when they leave? How's that being handled?
we do lock them at night, yes.
Okay, because I ride my bike constantly in the summer. I pass the porta potties. I purposely open up. It was 2 or 1.
There were two.
There were 2. So I
One
was
was
opening one just to take a look. Go ahead. Sorry.
Just one is an ADA size and one is standard size.
Gotcha. If we can, as Ms. Merida Dunn said, also work with the 2-6, because we don't want this to go away because of some unsavory characters. It's a huge help. People have complimented the board and parks and putting them in. So I'm looking to make this great going forward. So if we can, help do that, we definitely will work with the 2-6 and you to make this work even better. I just wanted to interject on that. Thank you. And you said
Great.
Memorial Day, they'll be back Memorial Day?
I believe they're coming on the 22nd.
Yeah, before Memorial Day.
Okay. Great.
Whenever-
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A slightly related issue. Is there any thought given to putting up a couple of signs to encourage dog walkers to pick up after their dogs? Is there any thought given to that? Because that's a
Probably
problem.
on the rules sign. It's not,
Huh?
it should be on the consolidated rules sign, but if it's not, we will.
Well, we can look at it.
She's making a point that I really had meant to bring before. How do I know I'm at the West Harlem Piers? Isn't a sign anywhere that tells me, but I know y'all have a sign that's like 10 feet tall. I saw it, I couldn't believe it.
There are
It's no, you have a big stand-up sign. It says the West Harlem Piers. I was stunned. So that when you get to 125th Street, right there at the very beginning, there is a West Harlem Piers green sign, wooden sign.
West Harlem Piers Park, that's what it says, yes.
Right, and I would like to know how we can't get one of those that stays there permanently, that identifies the area, because I saw the sign.
I don't know what sign.
The one you just said you know about.
Well, I'm not aware of any that have gone missing. If there's one that's gone.
It's not there, it's never, it's only put up and taken away, that's what I'm saying, you've never seen it.
You may be thinking of a sign that the Baylander puts out. They put out a sign sometimes to make people aware that they're there. And it's one of those A-frame things.
And it says West Harlem Pier?
I don't know what it says.
Oh, I
But
understand.
our signs are,
The next time I see it up, I'm gonna take a
Take a
picture.
picture.
Our signs are permanent, don't take them away.
That's right. Our signs are permanently
All
installed.
right, that's okay. I'll take a picture the next time I see it up.
What is this then?
Who's that?
She said, okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, so I just want to ask, I know I keep on going back to payroll, but, okay, so what percentage of the payroll is being paid by the city versus Columbia? So I understand you have the breakdown by job type, but in general, what percentage is being paid that Columbia is covering? What percentage is the city?
It's difficult to answer. The part staff who we pay for with the Columbia money, it's 100%. All the other staff that I mean, it's 100% with Columbia money. All the other staff are 100% city funding.
Yeah, but what?
Now,
what-
you're
what-
saying percentage,
What do
I'm
we
not.
calculate the value?
How many people are being paid with Columbia? That's what he's saying.
No,
How
no,
many
no,
people?
that's not his question. How do we calculate the value of the regularly paid
This,
park staff?
it is based on,
Now, what's the number?
well, in the first year, it was 195.
All right, so one, and then, so meanwhile, the Columbia money was paying for 250.
250, yeah.
So,
So what I,
That's
the
five
first
years.
year, the first year, I understand, but,
Well, there's one
Also-
of these reports for every year.
right, and then on the most recent year, so if you go forward to, at least so we have it here, 2022. That percentage, Columbia's contribution eclipses the city, so what percentage is that?
So it's, let me. Remember I said at the beginning, I had 95 people in 2008, and right now I have 50 people. I do what I'm able to do. The value of my payroll is half what it was in 2008, so that's part of it. If absent the Columbia money, the amount of care that I could give to any acre of the district would be lower because I have fewer people. And that includes West Harlem, Piers Park. So that's why that,
okay, but if you look at these columns, you can say that about 75% of the value of staff time is paid for by Columbia and the other 25% by the city. But roughly,
that's probably one way
Yeah.
of thinking about it.
yeah,
Okay, so my concern is that, okay, so the city is gonna be going through some budget cuts. And
we have, no, that's in the past tense. We have gone through.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, so. Assuming it's ongoing. And Columbia continues to grow as a percentage of what's being covered. What's gonna happen to the park after Columbia's funding is terminated?
But just get the care that I'm able to give,
And what is,
or whoever is in my
what,
job.
what does the care mean? Is it gonna be the same quality care that, I don't know, Riverside Park is gonna get rather than this park?
If you were to pick any given area of Riverside Park or Fort Washington Park, pick 2 acres. And that level of care that random area got would be more in line with what Harlem Piers will get. Now,
What is
that's
more in line? Is the quality lower in other areas of the park?
well, hopefully the quality is comparable, but I can't empty the trash all afternoon. I'll have people in after 3 o'clock. I may not get to the grass as quickly. If you go anywhere else in Riverside Park, the grass is crazy because it's growing faster than I can cut it.
That's why you're bringing in the goats again.
That's why we're bringing the goats in. But, but that's a good example. You know, if you go anywhere else in Riverside Park, the grass is always outgrowing our ability to mow it and trim it. Where I have dedicated staff, I can stay ahead of it. So when the dedicated staff goes away, if that happens, sooner or later, that could be the case. Now, there's management approaches. You try to figure out what are the most high profile areas, what are different kinds of areas need different kinds of care. A garden needs, we don't call it that, a landscape needs different kind of care from the woods, or a basketball court or a baseball. It's different kinds of care. So there's no, it costs this much money to take care of an acre of parkland, because it's all different. A playground is different from a ball field, is different from the woods, is different. So it doesn't work that way, but our ability to respond without the Columbia funding would be far less.
I understand that's reasonable, but how is Parks funding these projects? Just say in general,
What projects?
like meaning, like, how do you manage Riverside Park versus this park? Is it based on acreage? Is it based on
Really
percentage
based-
of people that.
It's
use
really
the park?
based on what I just told you. Where is the most demand? What's most high profile? What requires the most? You know, in the summertime, I may be spending an inordinate amount of time at 148th Street cleaning up on a Monday morning. I may have to clean basketball courts and soccer fields that people were partying on the night before. So that's where it goes. If I get hit with graffiti, I send people there. Right now, we're trying to mow, so people are spending a lot of time mowing.
And
So
there is no strict formula.
there is,
But what the Parks Department has, and which guides us to a great extent, is what we call the Parks Inspection Program, PIP. It's somewhat similar, you know, it's not certainly at that same level as the police department's CompStat program, but we have inspectors who come out of a separate unit, who go around and check on all of our parks and identify problems and then rate the cleanliness levels. And our employees are held to account. You know, they're rated, the parks are rated, and when our managers and basically our chiefs of operations see that there are problems, recurring problems in certain parks, they will assign staff to deal with those issues. So they're gonna make decisions based on how the inspectors, to some extent, identify those problems. And we have, you know, when people, you know, maybe every quarter or so, there are shifts that are made in personnel assignments in order to make sure that we can take care of some issues and try to boost our ratings.
Okay, and who provides oversight over this? Is that the mayor's office
No.
or is that comptroller's
No.
office?
it's a division within
It's
parks.
within the parks.
Okay.
If I can just add, personal experience, I can appreciate what you're saying about having a dedicated staff at the Harlem Piers. They're there to take care of all the problems there, as opposed to, let's say, Jackie Robinson Park or Margaretville Park, you know, where I do programming in Jackie Robinson Park. And I've heard the staff say, oh, we need to finish here and run over to Marcus Garvey because there's going to be a big event happening, you know? So I understand how you, move people around because the money is not enough to, employ dedicated staff for all the parks that are here, you know, so.
You just put your finger on it. That's,
Yeah.
you know, we don't have, the ability to keep people, you know, assigned to a particular park all day long, as, you know, those parks, you know, should have it, you know.
Yeah, sometimes I clean the park,
Yeah, well,
you know that.
those parks should have, more staff assigned to them. And it's problematic when we have to, you know, assign people and move them around in these mobile crews. But, that's,
It's my
that is
least
a,
favorite
that
way.
is a basic way in which we have to function.
And there's another thing too, with the way the city, does its, the financial allocation. If, what's her name, Madison was here, she will also talk about how you have to, declare what percentage of the funding goes for what. You know, so the percentage of, like you guys were saying that, you do have some people who are city funding, like the supervisor, you know, because he goes to different places.
Right.
And comes over there, he's city funded, not funded by, Columbia money that is, dedicated to just employees, you know? And in doing, sure, probably we'll have to figure out maybe what percentage of that time is utilized in different places.
Well, that's what John,
That's what he does.
that's what that chart said.
Mhm.
So we don't use any of the Columbia money, to pay for supervisors.
Right,
We only use it to pay for the people who are on the ground, hands-on people
right.
who are working in the park.
But I'm just saying that maybe for the city money, you know, maybe when you do your report, sometimes I have to do similar reports, like, what is that money allocated for? You know, so John, even though you're John and you're John, who is the supervisor, you know, he's going to be, he worked 5 hours at the, Harlem Piers, 10 hours at Marcus Garvey, 15 hours at blah, blah, blah. And that's how he makes up his time for that payment.
Well, the city's doing more and more of that. They've started with the maintenance worker, for example, has to work from a work order, and he has to track, okay, I left to go to this playground, I was there for an hour, and then I left and it took me 15 minutes to get back. So my, whatever that time was, went to fix the swing at Newfeld Playground. Same thing with the exterminators. They're supposed to be tracking how many holes did they bait, or they don't bait, but collapse, let's say. So we're not doing that with everybody, but we're doing it more and more with that kind of data.
What I do think we need to establish is we will have the porta potties back soon.
That's established.
Right, it's 2 down, all right. Let's see, is there anything else we need to bug you guys about before I say thank you? Go ahead.
I have a very brief question. Would it be possible for these reports, are these reports available online? And if not, would it be possible for them to be?
Let me get back to you on that. I brought these, normally, these are just the reports that we share with Columbia. But I wanted to share them with you because you've been asking these questions.
And we appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You now have a complete collection of all of our reports going back to 2008.
So you don't want to talk to me ever again? Is that what you're trying to tell me? You had enough years with me?
Maybe in another 10 years.
Another 10? Okay.
On the
See,
bottom
we
of
go
the
back.
stack, on the bottom of the stack
Mhm.
is my plan for the current year. We'll see how I do. But it's my plan for the current fiscal year.
Here, Maria.
The next,
I'm trying to find what I did with that piece. Okay, I'll look.
so come next August, let's say, all the bills are paid, I will do a report showing how I did for my plan.
These are our.
So really, if you look at this project, it's not sustainable after 2025.
It's, well, let's not talk like that. First of all, we have 10 more years. We have money to keep us going for 10 more years. I would say that before we get to that point, we should sit down and strategize on how we should proceed after that. And I don't think we should just throw up our hands and say, we're not gonna get any more money. I think this has been a successful effort to utilize private funding to support a public park. And I don't wanna just throw all of this effort into the river. I'd like to figure out a way to keep it going.
And we will be part of the brainstorming.
I think by necessity, because we're gonna need you and the influence of the community board to, I think, to try to keep this going.
I agree. I agree, John.
I mean, let me just say that Columbia's Manhattan project is not going away.
Right.
Say that again, sir?
They're not done yet.
The Manhattanville project is not going away at the end of 10 years. It's still gonna be around.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And duplicate them, please.
Very good.
Oh, I'm glad, Heather, if you don't, have you been part of the meeting all along?
Yeah, I think she has.
Oh, that's great, okay.
Well, Mr. Simon and Mr. Harold, we want to thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Listen, I want you to pay attention to the special events listing, because this is a really great feature of the park. The range of different events that we're able to do there. Music and dance and for all different age groups and, it's just amazing how much takes place there that we were able to,
At the fair, or the gym?
If I can also use this time to thank you for going around the city and asking people to actually create programs for the different public spaces. You know, you do care. I know.
You're not saying that, out of like personal experience, are you?
Of course I'm saying it out of personal experience. No, because I mean, no. Sometimes some of these places will just lie hollow. If you don't make the move to, encourage people to utilize it. So I know why you're pushing this, because you and your staff made it happen. And, we're trying
Well,
to.
John's staff,
John's staff.
Well, that's actually Whitney, I don't know if Whitney's on, Whitney Dearden, who used to be at Parks, she's now at Riverside Park Conservancy, they pay her salary.
Okay.
But she's the one that creates all of this. The community associate that I talked about is there during the event, but Whitney is the one who creates all of this.
Who does the program?
She's the curator, that's right.
Gotcha.
So what the Columbia money just pays for is pays the musicians, pays the entertainers, pays the dancers, rents the movies or whatever.
I'll come and talk to you later, but maybe you pay me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, lady.
Communication.
Thank you so much.
So that it be solved and it misunderstanding.
I hope it has helped.
Hey, you gave a lot of,
It has-
contextualized a lot of data for me.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you, that was the idea.
all right, Victor, let me know if you have any more questions.
So we'll see you next month.
No, and I will see you guys
gotta go to stand-up
in
comedy.
September, and I'll let you know how it worked this past summer.
All right, I'm sure you will.
You can count on it. I'll see
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
Keep going, Ren.
And good to see
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
I would say thank you. I was quiet during the meeting, but I was taking a lot of notes, so I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, take care.
Okay.
You too.
Okay.
1 second.
Press the button on the right.
Is this the board office?
Yes.
No.
Board
The
office
board
is-
office is next door, and this is a meeting.
This is a meeting.
Yes,
Yeah.
board office is next door.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Quick question. Would it be possible for us to collect all of these plans and have Matt or someone scan them so we can all have to do it?
Yeah, because you see, you've already got them, they're not together. Each one of these is for a different
I
year.
thought they were
Yes.
one.
No,
It's what?
please keep them together. And if we can duplicate them. And
When I get back to my
Wait,
own
I'm curious
office, I'll
about your
pay more
computer
attention
science
to
skill.
what this is.
If you can try to like break this down statistically where the money's going and if there's any deviation.
I don't think, I mean,
Not just on that sheet, but also on the payroll in general.
Yeah, I mean, I can take a look there in greater detail.
Yeah.
Honestly, none of it seemed super suspect to me.
Yeah.
Like, it mostly seemed to check out. I think it's just like,
I guess the question is like
everything is expensive.
that, and also like, how do you measure percentage of time? That's like a lawsuit question, because it's like, okay, you need to see what the payroll is stating and what exactly the employees are inputting for X amount of time for each of these places, and does it add up to the percentage that they claim?
Okay,
thank you.
But the thing about it though, Michael, is that we have to understand. They have dedicated staff for that place, and it has nothing to do with percentage of time. Their time is from 9 to 5.
Well,
That is dedicated.
Yeah.
But the city employees
Yeah.
are scattered all over the city, because the city needs, or should I say, all these green spaces,
correct.
they need specific skill set, people with specific skill set, and sometimes these people are not employed by the Columbia money.
I get that, but it's kind of a question of like, okay, what is the actual percentage? So I glanced at it, it said like manager 5%, 5%, 5%. Are they really spending 5% time there? What if it's 0.1% time?
And we can't know that, just
That-
as we can't know that the people, the dedicated personnel,
Oh, really?
if whatever they're putting on their time sheets, if they're actually working those hours.
Right, it's like, okay, my staff, they put whatever they have on their time sheet, I'm not always there,
Right, no, I get that, but
you know?
at the same time, like, this money has been inflating, like Columbia's contributions, like, it's almost $1 million.
There is
No, it's
nothing
$3
that.
million, plus $3 million.
No, I know, but I'm saying like,
Something
in
that's
a
perfect.
given year, it's almost like $1 million.
Oh, yes, at this point, right,
You see what,
So it's
I
not
know.
little, not little pieces
and
of
that
money.
you're right.
What
my daughter walks that Piers every morning.
And it's beautiful, isn't it?
Not always, it's usually nice, but it's not
usually
always
nice.
bad either. And the West Harlem Piers does not have a park. And that was the first, somebody tell me where the park is at the West Harlem Piers.
It's a little green strip of grass.
That's a park?
Well, that's what they're calling for.
No, that's what we allowed them to add, that they could, because they didn't know what else to call it.
So what will you have us do?
It was, well, now I just want you to understand,
You want
now
to
it's
do a
too late,
name?
because even when I've seen some of us,
1 acre, and I wanna turn
unfortunately,
it
I
down.
was there for the negotiations.
It's only 1 acre.
When the negotiations started, they said the West Harlem Piers. And someone else said, because the Economic Development Corporation of the city of New York told them that money from Columbia was supposed to go to economic development. Because I was here for, go ahead, y'all, but see, I had to leave.
829.
I had to leave. My daughter had a stroke, so I had to figure out which was more important, the damn Piers or my daughter's stroke. I went to Georgia so my daughter could walk today.
Yeah, but you were not the only one.
Yes,
At
I
those
was.
meetings.
Right.
I was the only one. There was 3 chairs negotiating it from Board 9. Of the 3 community board chairs that negotiated it to a day, you're stuck with me.
Hallelujah.
Stuck with you?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
If
don't
they-
say,
All right, so,
The other chairs are dead. They died over the years.
and we want you to live long, so.
No, you
stay
don't,
there.
but unfortunately, I
You
plan to.
stay there. No, you're not going anywhere. You will still be here. You are
Okay, it's
institution.
10:30.
Okay.
Yeah, what's the next one?
We did,
I don't
Yes,
want to
look.
be too pedantic, but I don't think we adopted the agenda of the minutes.
We didn't do
we did not.
All right, can we move straight into that?
Oh, very
Right,
quickly.
okay,
I move that we adopt the agenda.
I just wanna add one.
Oh, yes,
thing,
ma'am.
if you
okay,
don't
which
mind.
one is the agenda,
I
Joy?
want to add the New York City Multicultural Festival to the announcement of the agenda. Cause I came here before too.
When is it, Joyce?
That's what I'm gonna talk about. If you don't mind.
I wish you told me to hurry, cultural.
What was it called again?
Huh?
What was it called again?
And New NYC Multicultural Festival. Okay, all right, so we can move quickly and be out of here by 9 o'clock, or before 9. It's 8:40 something,
Okay, good.
okay, so, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you so much.
Second,
Minutes,
second.
did everyone have a chance to look at the
No,
minutes?
let's keep going. We didn't do that. Cause what happened, I put them on and then,
They were written and sent out, so.
They were
There
emailed,
were.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so, did we do adopt it or not? We need it? No adoption?
We need a motion to adopt the minutes, is that what we need? A motion to, okay, I move to adopt the minutes.
second.
I have also a meeting for Friday, senior fair on Friday.
Okay, new business.
what?
The senior fair on Friday from 11 to.
So that's
4
under announcement, so that's
Where is it?
For the forum.
Oh, yeah.
This Friday?
Mhm.
I gotta notice, I gotta look and see.
She sent the notice around, this young lady.
And I get a notice from a lot of people, I gotta.
Why are you guys doing all of that?
take some and pass it to your village.
Oh, 22nd.
So, I just, if I may, have the floor? Okay, I just put on my hat of, New York Multicultural Festival hat. So the New York City Multicultural Festival is going to take place June 1st at Jack Robinson Park, and also June 22nd on St. Nicholas Avenue between 141st and 145th. Why I felt it was important to bring this here is because it's an important business component. All right, let me slow down. Business component to this festival, which is to give vendors an opportunity to sell, not only sell, but we're providing free tents, free tables, free chairs, something that is not usually done at festivals. The reason is that we are not looking at the economic benefit of the festival for us, but we're looking at how it can benefit small businesses. That's why we are making this furniture that's usually expensive, you know, affordable, free, not even just affordable, but free, but they are limited, you know. And what is the purpose of the festival? The purpose of the festival, thank you, Mr. Chair. The purpose of the festival, two aims. One, we know that this is a diverse city, culturally diverse city. Misunderstandings happen, you know? So we would like people to come together, the different cultural communities to come together to celebrate our diversity, instead of using it as a reason to hate. We also feel that it is important that police and community work together, get to know each other. So the police will be there not just to enforce, pray that there'll be no reason, right? But to have an opportunity to speak, dialogue with the community, get to know them, get to create different programs.
Yeah.
This morning, something amazing happened. I was with some people and some police officers, and we were talking about why there are not enough programs for the youth, for the seniors. And we decided right there and there to join forces, because we all had different things that we were doing. With the police, with the NYPD, we decided that we were going to create a program together. So I believe strongly in dialogue, I believe strongly in people coming together, especially if they're interested in making their community better. So this is what the festival is about, and I'm asking you all to please share the information. I'm going to ask the office to share the information to you all, and please pass it on so that we can have a very successful event. We see it as Harlem, our community hosting the world, because people come from the 5 different boroughs, actually even out of New York City. They do come from, even as far as Boston. I've had people come to me to tell me that they're from Boston, they heard about it, they will learn how to do it. So that is my spiel. Thank you so much for listening to me.
What are you expecting from CB9 on that?
On that day, I'm expecting that CB9 will table. This is something that we used to do many years ago. We would bring information about every committee.
The community board, please, which
Yes,
is that.
every
Okay.
committee. So there will be information about the arts committee, information about health, economic development, this and that, and then there will be a general document about the community board itself. So I'm also expecting our chair, and I apologize to the chair, I'm telling you this, you're in my head, I'm like, I need to call you. I'm expecting our chair to also make a speech, a 1-minute speech to introduce himself and talk about community board 9. That's why it's on the flyer.
You're here to have at least 5 minutes,
No, I
or it's
can't
not
have
worth
time.
his time to come.
Whatever.
Maybe
But
10
you
minutes
know,
for-
and no joke, there's a lot of people do not understand the importance of the community board.
Yeah,
And it's very, anytime they won't do anything unless they come and ask you, you're very important. But as
Exactly.
long as the rest of the people don't realize the importance of it, then they don't pay the proper attention
exactly.
to it.
That's why we are
Mhm,
inviting the community board to come and table,
mhm.
and the chair of the community board to come and talk about
Yeah.
what the community is about.
Okay, it's 11 o'clock.
Okay, so just to, if you, I can have the floor, it's not, I'm not organizing anything, but on Friday at the forum, starting at 11 o'clock AM, there's a senior fair.
Yeah. I get it, because I get everything, child.
That's it.
I know.
What time again?
From
11 a.m.
11 AM to 4, I think, 4 or 3.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank you. Very much. All right, so where are we?
what's jobs in New York City? Why did I have that here? They here? Jobs in
Anything else?
NYC?
What?
The only other thing on the agenda with is.
Yes, hello,
Yes.
Hello?
good
Hi.
evening, hi.
Hi, Ms. Bain.
How are you today?
Well, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you so much, and I appreciate you guys giving me your time. I saw that you had such a rigorous meeting today, so I do appreciate the moment. Jobs NYC is an initiative that was born through Mayor Adams' initiative for economic improvement for all of the community of New York City. He realized that after COVID, there was a disproportionate amount of unemployment in many of the underreached parts of the city. So he put together an interagency team, which includes myself and other members from different agencies all over the city. And so we are doing hiring halls in the 5 boroughs for the next 5 months. We've done 2 already. One was done at not too far from you in Grant Houses at 3105, I believe, the community center there. And we had 317 job seekers become registered, and some were even interviewed, and I believe there was some offers that came out of it. We have a combination of resources as well as potential employers. We have some employers who do on-site interviews, and like I said, sometimes we'll even give offers. So we just wanted to make sure that our neighboring community boards, such as yourself and Community Board 10, were aware of the NYC Jobs Initiative. And I sent over electronic copies of flyers for both job seekers and for potential employers. So if you know of some employers in the community that are interested in hiring, we do allow tabling for that. I just found out today that the May hiring hall will be on the 30th of May, and it'll be in the Polo Grounds. So we have these hiring halls in different areas of the community so that we can make sure that we, are able to suss out as many job seekers as possible and connect them with jobs.
I have a question.
Yes.
First of all, thank you so much for this. I thank the mayor because this is just so much needed and so many people who are unemployed. My question and my, maybe I just say my heart is, in those people who are unemployed. They are on the, pantry line, may not have money to go online to hear about this. How do you reach them?
By you. By other community members. This is why we go out, we go out to different establishments that give out and purvey information. We don't expect it to be an all online process, and we do account for that. So yes, we hope that, with partners such as yourself and, other community associations that we speak to, that they'll be able to get the word out to people who unfortunately, don't have electronic means. But thank you so
Okay.
much for that question.
No, and you answered it very well. So every Tuesday for the past 9 years, I have been given food and clothing and personal care household items to people. And I don't do it in an enclosure, I do it on the sidewalk. So that people who are passing, we know that this is free, they can have access to this. So I do, whatever little I get, I'm not funded, but I do that. So what I want to know is, yes, because today I was talking to them. I wanted to know those people who need a job. As a matter of fact, we were speaking with the NYPD. We're trying to find out how we can come up with a different program to help all of them. There's so much needs in the community.
Yes.
I was there with officers from the 30th precinct. I also serve as the president of the 30th precinct company council. I was there with another lady in the community who has a construction company who's helping people. So, is it just the flyer that I give? You want me to just give out? Or what? Or can you come?
Well, if
Send
you
a staff.
if you give me the address, I will try to come by next Tuesday and not only help you give out flyers, but I can also give them extra information, such as the fact that the borough president's office is not too far from you on 125th Street Boulevard. And it has, free areas for people to use online. The library on 125th Street also has computers that people can use. So I'm more than happy to come out and talk to whomever needs to be spoken to and tell them ways in which they can, use the electronic system. And also there is, a job center on 125th Street that they can go to and they can.
Victor, we can hear you. Victor, we can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, he didn't know that he was not muted.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I
please.
see. No, so what I was saying was that people who, who don't have an electronic pipeline of their own, they are able to go to a Workforce One center, which is not too far from us. So I'm not sure, like I said, when you give me the address, I will, we'll connect and I'll come out there. But not too far from you is a workforce center on 215 West 125th Street on the 6th floor. And they help people create resumes, update their resumes, and do other things, and puts them in the pipeline for job seeking based on their skills and experience, etc. So not having your own computer we are trying as best as possible to make less and less of an obstacle for people. And what a lot of people forget is that your phone is a computer. These days, most phones are smartphones, and those phones can get online. Those phones can, get to different websites. So, a lot of times people think that they're disconnected. It's just that you have to be a little bit more creative in your areas of connectivity. But I'm more than happy, like I said, once again, to come in and, share that.
Okay, I would love to have you. I just want you to know that these are people who, wow, how do I say this?
People who have disparities in the disparities, yes.
Yes.
I've worked with many of them.
Very much, yes,
I
yeah.
mean, you talk about street people, you give out food and stuff to street people, is that what you're saying?
Not just street people, but,
anybody who needs it.
anyone who.
People who are dispossessed.
Seniors.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I've
people
worked
who
with
are in
seniors,
shock.
I've worked with the
I'm a
homeless.
senior and I'm hungry.
Yeah,
You know,
Let's keep this moving.
there are many people who are moving around the street
yeah.
and they're looking for help, or maybe they're not moving down the street. They're home,
Yeah,
but they're seniors,
yeah.
they're
Yes.
not educated,
Right.
they don't speak English, you know? And this, whole thing about going to the computer frightens them. Even
Right.
just asking them to write their name on a piece of paper and their phone number so that I can call them. Yes, so that I can call them when I have things, cause I have different, I get, God is good. I get different things, mattresses, clothing, shoes, whatever,
Mattresses?
Yes, I do. Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
good too.
yeah, in fact, I get one out today.
Okay.
So even just to write their name and their phone number, they're afraid. Or they can't even write it.
Well, that's two different things you come up with.
Two things, I covered a whole lot of stuff.
You did cover a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah,
You did.
so those are the people that I'm concerned about,
Yeah, I understand.
that I work with.
And you think that Ms. Bain can be of assistance to?
I wanted to think of how she can be of assistance, because they will not go to workforce. I know about workforce at 125. Even today, I'll tell you, even today, I was telling them that I will employ you if you are able to give out flyers for me.
Right.
And they were even afraid of that.
Well, the
Wow.
thing is that, well, I mean, not to deep dive too much, but once again, like I said, disparities within disparities, you're talking about a lot of different issues that are going on at the same time. You sometimes can't give a person a job if they don't have housing, because there's just something that goes on with them.
That's true.
There's something that
That's
goes on
right.
with them, then they can't do that. So it sounds like, there's a myriad of challenges and issues that are going on that probably will not be solved with just a job. And they would need more comprehensive case management. So when I come, I will reach back to some of my, like I said, previous lifetimes. I've been in upwards of 7 different agencies over, my tenure in the city. So if I can find a few numbers of case management, I think that would be the best thing. But, what you're doing is a great thing, because you're on the ground and you're in the grassroots, you're in the weeds. So they're going to trust you quicker than they're going to trust me. So if I purvey that information to you and say, listen, let them know that if they go to this place or that place, it's a safe space for them to find answers to all of the different questions going on. And then from there, we're able to, put them in a position for them to get different kinds of employment. That is not only a job, but something that, that speaks to their true knowledge or passion. Does that make sense?
And begin creating what you call a pipeline to
Exactly.
resources.
Exactly.
Now, one thing that I'm thinking of doing, and I asked them if they'll be interested in this, is that every Friday, they will all assemble at a space. I have a space. And I asked them, I said, if I get a space for you where all of you would just come, eat, talk to each other, dance, let your hair down, have community where you come and have, and I'll bring people to come and talk to you, bring the police, they'll bring their resources and tell you different things. Will you come? They said yes. So I'm planning to do that. Maybe that will be a better place for you to come. I'm planning to do that next Friday.
She may not be able to know how to dance.
Excuse you, sir?
No.
I'm from Harlem, sir. I know how to dance. I went to Ruth Williams Dance Studio.
Oh.
I want to do some things like that, get some food from different places, have them just come, sit down, let their hair down, get to
Cha-cha-cha.
we are social beings, you know, these are immigrants. I know that back home where I come from in the evening, people just sit down and they talk,
Yes.
you know? And they're able to find out, oh, you can go over there to get this. And you can do that, do this and do that, and.
Because you are creating safe space within which people can access
Yes,
information and use the
Right.
kinds of resources that Ms.
yes,
Bain is bringing to bear.
exactly, so
Okay.
that's what I'm trying to.
That's powerful. That's
build.
powerful.
Mr. Can you leave your contact, please?
Yes, that's what I wanted, yeah.
Ms.
I'm
Bain,
going to drop it in the chat right now.
thank you.
No
Thank you
problem.
very much.
Thank you.
See the chat.
Yes.
See,
And we're
It
gonna
goes
see
back-
how you did.
still goes back to electronics, sorry.
There you go.
Can you say it loud?
I'm sorry?
Can you say it loud so we?
We are virtual, I mean, we're not virtual, we're.
She's saying, she's asking if you can report it to us, verbally,
Verbally,
so that we can write
Oh.
it down.
yeah.
Sure. So my full name is Geneva, like Switzerland, Geneva. Last name is Bain, Bain. My home organization or agency is Small Business Services, City of New York. My current capacity in speaking to you is the community liaison for the Loop Jobs NYC initiative from the mayor's office. My phone number is 929-486-4602. Once again, that's 929-486-4602. My email address is the first letter of my name, Geneva, so G, and my last name, Bain, as in Nancy, at S as in Sam, B as in boy, S as in Sam, dot NYC dot GOV.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're
We will
welcome.
be in touch.
And
And
by
thank you
the
for your
way, I
patience.
was there last month and I believe I gave you all cards.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and thank you for your patience.
No problem.
She usually has to interject herself. We forgot about her.
No, that's okay. That's what I said is that for the next months that we're doing this initiative, I will be attending the meetings either virtually or in person.
Bless you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, and hope to see some of your staff, anyway, I'll be in touch. Hope to see some of your staff at the festival.
Okay. Yes, I am interested in the senior festival that you were talking about. It sounded very interesting. And
No,
maybe,
mine is the New York City,
Friday.
hers is the senior festival, mine is the New York City Multicultural Festival.
well, I could tell me about both and we can see where we, how we can be involved.
Okay, great.
Right.
So for Friday is a short notice, you just show at the
No.
forum here.
Yes,
senior
I've been
festival
known
is
to
at
do
the
that from time to time.
Thank you, Miss Day.
All right.
And I might have a couple of vendors I might want to bring your way too.
Yes,
Let's do.
yeah. Okay, we'll keep in touch. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
There's some people online.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Oh, what happened to people online?
Well, there's John.
Heather
Nicole,
Jason, Nicole Carter, John McGregor.
Huh?
If they want to say anything,
If they want there,
anybody online want to say
they
anything?
can raise their hands.
I would like to, I would like to say something. My name is Nicole Carter. I've been coming to the meetings for the last 3 months, and I'm a representative of the Loam. And there's a summit that will be happening on June 2nd. I shared the link in the chat. And I also will call the board tomorrow and speak with staff to provide it as well. But it's around economic development for women that were justice impacted. So it's going to be a packed eventful day that is going to build for the West Harlem community. We are a grantee of the West Harlem Development Corporation, and we are doing it at the Harlem School of Arts. So it will be on June 2nd from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's free. The link was shared in the chat. And again, like I said, I'll contact the board tomorrow to provide the flyer and more information. And that's all for it. Thank you.
Nicole.
Yes.
Wait, you said, now it's Harlem School of the Arts, 11 to 4, June 2nd. Well, what's it called?
It's a Woman Empowerment and Summit. So it's breaking barriers and building futures. So we're gonna have panelists, keynote speakers, opportunities for networking to gain employment. It's just an event to empower the women of West Harlem. And it's a collaboration with We Nation. And I shared in the chat the link.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
11 a.m. to when, Joe?
11 to 4. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you
You're
for your
welcome.
patience.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. I appreciate you guys.
We need to wait to look at that, wait for that long. Yeah.
The medication with a P will turn your urine.
We hear you talk about your medication.
Alright.
We're not trying to hear about that medication that turns you to a pee.
Y'all have
Oh,
some
sorry
very
about that.
spirited meetings, I
Don't
see.
worry about it.
I'm doing double duty here, so sorry.
That's good. All right. Okay. Okay, so we on, let's see, business conference. We've done the Manhattanville Business District, no?
Yes.
Yes, we did. We talked about it.
Well,
Yes.
and that June
West Harlem
5th.
Pod. Business conference. We've shifted it to October 19th.
It is October 19th, okay.
Yes. And Nicole, your group is one of the people that we want to participate in that conference. Yes, so we've shifted it and we'll get in touch with you all later on.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. Yes, Albert, provide the information back to the team.
And definitely let us know about it as well. You said it's in
Definitely.
October?
Yes,
Yeah.
October. Oh, no, you're part of us now.
Oh, no, you may be a panelist.
You make the cut.
Oh, yeah.
It may not be me, it may be someone else who's more versed, if you could
No,
believe
you
that's possible.
You said you can dance.
I don't know how the two are mutually exclusive, but okay.
They're not. You just need to know different, you need to know multiple steps.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I did have a quick question about the Manhattanville. Is that a business improvement district or is it just a business office?
It's an improvement district. It's a whole area. It's 2 blocks.
All right, so now Manhattanville has a business improvement district.
Yes.
Not improvement,
Well,
a
it's just a
Manhattanville
Business district.
Okay,
Manhattanville Business District.
It's not a bid.
oh, okay, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, it's
not a bid. All right, thank you
It's
so
the
much.
name of an area. That's what it
Right.
is.
Thanks for the clarification.
All right, so business conference, we're talking about the state.
October the 19th.
October 19th, and where, if we're going to use Columbia, we have to fill out the form.
Yes.
Where do you wanna do
You
it?
still wanna go to Columbia?
You go, we go online, you have to be done 2 to 6 months ahead of time.
Right.
I went there last week, you have to fill for 4 events. So
You filled out for 4 events.
I had to.
Okay. All right.
Yes, and then they will follow up. But it was faster the better.
Okay, so another thing we wanna take a look at is, do we wanna do Columbia
Potentially.
or do we wanna do Manhattanville?
I think
We
we
discussed
settled.
about that already.
Okay, so you
You
get,
know what, let me tell y'all something. Cause I'm about to leave here in 2 minutes. You don't have an idea what Manhattanville looks like. Ask the mayor.
I can tell you, I went there that day for the mayor.
how was that?
He has the resources. It was a one-man show. What he needed to bring was just rap behind the wall and then to present. So that's it. But for us, we're talking about different vendor and panelists in one place.
And meeting rooms?
No, I
Wasn't,
think about
wasn't we
that
supposed to have meeting
multipurpose
rooms, or
room.
did I misunderstand it?
Well, let Clotilde
So,
finish.
I'm sorry.
Sharing.
That place, the multipurpose room where the mayor held his meeting
Mhm.
last time. So that was about 450 people. It was only one person. Everybody listened to him. We will be different table. We have a set of workshops, panel. I don't know how we can mix all those things and all the noise.
You wanna answer that, Joyce? Cause I have nothing to say. You were there, and I showed you what was available.
Yes, I was there. And I get what she's saying. And I get what you're saying.
Don't say.
She's talking about the equipments that we're going to use, you know, for the conference. If we have to do,
Video
video
presentation,
presentations, AV, audiovisual equipment,
Resources.
you know, resources, microphone. The mayor was able to bring all those things because he has those.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what she's talking about, that
Oh.
it may not, we don't have those things.
Oh.
We don't, if somebody wanted to do a presentation, let's say a
So you need
PowerPoint
a-
slide.
A PA system, you need a monitor, with laptops to screen decks yeah,
Is Columbia gonna give us all of that?
yes,
Yes, the key.
yes,
You have to request.
of
it.
course,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, they definitely have it. I think you have to.
No, we've gotten it for you, yeah.
It provides.
Yes.
All right.
And
That
they
went
give you
too
the
close
audio,
to that
the
Columbia,
AV
but it was
tech
upstairs, and it
people
didn't
tech
look like
to
it.
make sure that it runs smoothly.
Yeah,
Right.
they're not gonna take a chance on us messing up their machine.
I can share, excuse me, can I share just something for y'all is in reference to what y'all talking about? I did the process for the Columbia because at first we was gonna do the summit there because I heard you guys speaking about West Harlem Development Corporation. So they explained how to do the process. So you just fill out the application and then
No, we
someone's gonna
know.
get back to you, right? But they
Yeah.
have all of those options.
Victor work on that.
And they came back quickly though. Like they were willing to do it for NCON as a grantee, but I just didn't need the space anymore. So they did ask me like, where did I want it? What was that? What did I need? And it was offering the things that you guys are speaking about. So
Yes.
if y'all wanted, they had all of that.
Yes, thank you, Nicole.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I move that we adjourn.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Can you, fill out the place for us? Book the place for us for the conference,
No,
please, so we can adjourn.
I'm not doing it.
Somebody calling?
I made a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Let's go.
9:05.
Somebody agreed, okay, we adjourn.
So it's gonna be from 11 to 5,
What is 11 to 5?
October the 19th, from 11 to 5.
No,
We said 10, what time?
9.
Thank you.
Right, because after the registration, we're gonna get some breakfast and.
9.
Yeah. Please just have it up for me, that I am laughing a lot. All right, everyone. Thank you all for the wonderful meeting again. I always enjoy having meetings
It's
with you
long,
guys.
it's
And please share the flyer, please, help us.
Well, I wanna thank everybody. I hope you learned something about the West Harlem fans and the money that some of us fought for.
Yes.
I want you to know that, well, never mind. I'm gonna leave the mayor alone.
No, we wanna thank you for all the fighting that you've been
No,
doing.
On our behalf.
For the
Thank
community
you,
on our
Marita.
behalf.
Oh, you're
for a
gonna
long time.
recognize the.
And you will continue to do, because you're gonna still
She
stay
can't
in the
help it.
community, and we love you.
Cause she's a busybody, that's why.
There you go.
Do you remember on April 20th from Cecil Corbin, the food was good at that,
I don't know what you're talking about, huh?
on April the 20th, we went to eat somewhere at the Burger Shake. Okay, I don't.
Oh, who was there for the Cecil Corbin March?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that-
was Corbin
That
March.
food was good.
So I want
Yeah,
to,
they were, and I hadn't known about them.
Was that
yet.
good?
are they some of your friends?
What's the
Do you
name?
know them?
No, I don't know that.
Okay,
No.
the name of the restaurant said she could provide.
Congratulations.
And let's say,